It doesn't matter where you go, and it really doesn't matter where you look. It's 2018, and nowadays everyone has a phone in their pocket or purse. But what can we really do with all that power at our fingertips when all we have is a small 5 or 6 inch screen? We have this amazing device, yet we're still forced to lug around a laptop or have this massive desktop computer taking up space in our living room. What if I could tell you that you could take the very device you carry with you every single day and turn it into a fully functional laptop? Introducing the Superbook. This is Sentio's answer to taking your cell phone and turning it into a full-fledged laptop. What is going on, everyone? My name is Patrick, and let's talk about the Sentio Superbook. Now, since I've already kind of gotten the introduction and everything else out of the way of what this is, let me start by saying that this is a product I purchased with my own money. It's not sponsored. There is no selective wording in any of this. It is my opinion and my opinion only. Now, I have a feeling a lot of people will share similar thoughts as me, but I'll let you come up with your own opinion. So let's start out with, I guess, a hardware review. The device overall is relatively well built, considering it's a Kickstarter campaign. It's a hard plastic, I guess polycarbonate of some sort. It has a relatively good feel. In terms of the keyboard's just a little bit smaller than a normal laptop keyboard, comparable to a MacBook Air, I guess. Keys are just a little bit smaller, not a whole lot of travel between them, but it's not bad, and it's very doable if you're going to be typing on it on a daily basis. The trackpad, similar story. It's good size, it's 4 inches give or take. It supports multi-touch, and it does a good job. The tactile function of it in terms of clicking it is not a lot, but it's enough to tell that you're actually clicking it. In terms of what else it has, well, on the left-hand side of it, it has a full-size USB-A port. It also has the power port, which is a 12-volt, 3-amp, I think. And then it also has a USB-C port for plugging the actual phone into. The screen on my version is a full 1080p IPS display, I think. There's also a 1330 by 6 something like that. A little bit lower than 720p. And that's pretty much it when it comes down to the build quality of it. But a device can be built terribly so long as it actually works. So how does this thing work? Well, it's kind of hit or miss, but let me explain. So it really depends on how you're actually going to be using the device. Is it going to be something that replaces your laptop completely? Or is it something that's just going to be an add-on to your cell phone? Is it going to be something that you're just going to use from time to time if you're editing a Word document or a Google Doc and you just need something with the full-size keyboard that you can type on? Or are you going to try to use this device to completely take the place of your laptop or your desktop computer? So I've gone about testing this thing in both of those ways, using it instead of my laptop or using it along with my cell phone. And here's what I figured out. If you're looking for something to replace your laptop or desktop computer, this will not be the device for you. If you want something cheap, just go get a Chromebook. If you want something that will allow you to every now and then type up documents, surf the internet, surf social media, this would be a great device. If you're looking for strictly just an attachment to your phone, something that will give you that keyboard and mouse, something that you can take with you on a business trip or anything else, where you may need to type up emails or surf the internet and do something more than what you can actually do on your phone, this could end up being a great product. But right now, where this stands, I think it has too many problems, too many issues, and I still feel like it's too early in the development of both the application on the phone and the physical hardware to justify it as the only computer you own. Now, I purposely waited to the very end of this video to talk about the bad parts of this device. And I say I purposely did this because this device is still so early in its life cycle. It was a Kickstarter campaign. They were able to get upwards of $3 million, I think, to actually build these units. when their original goal was, I think, $50,000. That's huge, that's massive. And the undertaking these people took on was incredible in its own right. They were not expecting that turnaround. They were not expecting to sell that many units. And more power to them for actually being able to fulfill all of the orders, at least up until this point. And that's hoping and presuming they do finally fulfill all of the orders. So, what are the downsides of this device? Well, with any new device, there's obviously going to be the R&R that needs to go into it. There's going to be the issues that you figure out. I mean, we're realistically beta testing a brand new product. So what are some of the issues that I'm noticing with it? Well, I'll start out with the actual device itself. The first thing I noticed when I actually started it up and started using it was when I was typing. I just had a regular Google Doc up and I was typing up some of the notes about the device. And I noticed every couple seconds, whenever my palm would touch the actual trackpad, the cursor would change where I was typing. And I would start typing over things, or it would completely delete words or text that I was typing. That was frustrating and infuriating. And to make matters worse, I wasn't actually using the touchpad. I use a wireless mouse that's connected with Bluetooth. So one of the features I wish they would add in there, which I don't know if they could or not, whether by a physical switch or a software switch, disable the touchpad. I know it seems like something small, but that one small thing honestly could change the entire way that I use the device. My typing style is I rest my palms on either the laptop chin or the desk or whatever. So when I try to be comfortable typing with it, I just continuously change the cursor around and it just causes problems for me. But that's just one small problem. Second problem that I've noticed is the screen. Screen overall is good. Like I said, they're still figuring stuff out. I don't know who their distributor is for their screens, but at the bottom of the screen, there's a lot of light bleed. Could be something easy to fix. I don't know. I'm not a manufacturer, but there's a lot of light bleed on it. One of the other things that I noticed while watching a YouTube video is the color reproduction on the actual LCD panel versus on my phone being a Google Pixel 2 XL. The color reproduction is not saturated at all on the monitor. Now, I don't know if that's a bandwidth limitation of the USB, which it's a USB 3, so I wouldn't expect that to be, or it could be some sort of driver compatibility issue with the display link drivers that are actually driving the display. I don't know. Could be just one of those other things that they need to figure out over time, and a firmware update could fix it. So to be completely honest, those were the only two real problems I have with the device itself. Little things that you would expect with the new device where it just isn't as polished. An example being when you actually turn on the device and connect the phone up, the screen flashes and it just makes a weird pattern. Whatever, just add a timeout, or it could be LCD or something. I don't know. I'm not too super worried about that because it doesn't actually affect the functionality of it all. But moving past the actual laptop extension device for your phone, this whole thing started out with Andromium OS, which is a application or launcher that runs on top of the Android operating system, and it allows you to more or less change the way that you interact with your phone. And what it's doing is it's providing this desktop experience for your phone. The desktop experience itself isn't bad, but the shortcomings with it far outweigh the functionality of it. With me running the newest version of Android, certain features don't work for me. For instance, floating applications that can be resized do not work for me. Do not work whatsoever. The ADB commands that they tell you to run, I run them, it does not resolve the problem. There's other floating app launchers, I guess, in the App Store that do function and do work, but within the Sentio desktop application, I'm unable to get that working. Some of the other built-in features in the Sentio application, such as setting it as the home launcher, and then once you disconnect the home launcher from your phone, this ended up being a big problem for me. When I disconnected my phone from the laptop dock, it would not revert back to either the standard home screen or launcher, or it would not revert back to the orientation that I needed it to be. And when I'm trying to do things like answer the phone or God knows whatever else I wanted to do at the time, it would just cause a lot of problems and would be a big hassle for me. If I'm going to be using something day in and day out, it needs to just work. And dare I say something like the iPhone or Apple operating systems where they just work. I was hoping this application would work like that. So now I've gotten the rant about the actual, I guess, application portion of it out of the way. I want to talk about Sentio as a company. I was not a backer on Kickstarter. I was an early backer compared to a lot of other people, and I paid the full retail price of the device. And I came to a couple conclusions over time. Well, first, these devices were supposed to be shipped out close to a year ago, if not longer than that. Sentio claims they were able to send out, 100 devices to early backers, but the discussion between owners was not there. Now, we have Reddit groups, we have a Slack channel, and a bunch of other outlets that we can all communicate on, and the fact that there is so little communication between the supposed owners of these devices made a lot of people very wary about if and when they would ever get their devices. Now, Sentio provided a lot of different outlets and tried to provide updates along the way, but this is where I believe a lot of the logistical problems that were happening could have been resolved by either better management or better employees or better communication, internal and external overall. They tried to provide these regular updates, but they were always the same thing. I'm sorry, we don't have anything for you yet. We're working on an order in China, in Japan, in the US, whatever their excuse or reasoning may have been. Being a small business owner, working for many small businesses, it's not the way it should be. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and end it there. I can keep on going I can keep on talking about the device, about the application, about the company, but I don't want to make this video too long, and I don't want to make it about something it's not. This device is a great device. It has a lot of potential, but it still has a long ways to go. I recommend anyone that's out there that wants to try it, buy one used, at least for now. Once Sentio, the company, gets all their stuff figured out and they're able to produce these devices and they're able to fix and resolve a lot of the problems, I think it'll be a great alternative to a laptop.